Okay, boxing fans, right now we're going to talk about the Super Bantamweight title challenge for Chris Avalos. He's fighting champion Carl Frampton in Carl Frampton's backyard in Belfast, Northern Ireland. The Jackal making the first defence against his mandatory challenger. And it looks like it's going to be a good fight. Their styles are pretty much... They're pretty good. You know, Frampton, he's a bit of a boxer puncher. He can move around a bit. He does everything quite well, and he can punch. Chris Avalos, more of a come forward fighter. If you stand in front of me, he's going to knock you into next week, really. So we'll see what happens in this fight. Rory, what do you think about this fight?
Yeah, it's a good fight. It's it's a mandatory. He's earned it. There's no massive noticeable names really on Avalos' record, but he's done what he's had to do. And the two that he's lost were both split decisions, so you can't really grumble at that. With it being on terrestrial TV, that's obviously a massive thing in the UK. I hope that every single boxing fan watches it and they end up with massive viewing figures. So it'll entice them to do it more often. The only downside I think is that I really hope it's not a boring fight whereby, like you've just said, Avalos likes to, wants you to stand in front of you and trade so he can get the upper hand. I hope that doesn't then mean Frampton gets on his bike for most of the fight. It'd probably be the more sensible thing to do, but if it's going to make for a boring fight, we really don't need that as UK boxing fans, with it being on ITV. We want to see more of it.
Okay, do you want to put yourself on mute there for a minute, bro? So, Paul, what are your thoughts on that fight?
Yeah, I'm okay with it. It's a mandatory. Avalos is quite good. It's a good keep busy fight for Frampton because he's coming off the big win over Kiko Martinez when he won the title, and the Scott Quigg fight and the Leo Santa Cruz fight don't look like they're going to be happening anytime soon. So he's got to keep busy, and what better way to keep busy than fighting your mandatory? I'm happy with it. Yeah.
You can't moan at people when they fight their mandatories. And Chris Avalos, I mean, he did lose the title to the guy that Kiko Martinez beat for the title, Jonathan Romero. And in the first round, Romero did go down against Avalos, and Avalos was on top. It was actually a mirror image to how the first round was a mirror image to how the Kiko Martinez fight was going. So this is quite a good fight for Frampton because he's coming off the Kiko Martinez fight. They're quite similar fighters in terms of style, and I think even height as well. I don't think that Avalos is a tall fighter, but I wouldn't quote me on that. Since then, he's come back. He's fought 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fighters, and only one of them are really worthy of talking about, and that is the Ishimoto fight for the IBF Super Bantamweight title eliminator, and that was a TKO victory for Avalos in the 8th after the referee stopped the fight because the Ishimoto's corner was like, fuck this. Our guy's getting his ass kicked. But other than that, yeah, this is a good fight. I think it's definitely worth watching. It's on ITV, which is really good. Terrestrial TV boxing. After this fight, there is no doubt that he is the bigger star out of the both, Scott Quigg and Carl Frampton, of course. But we'll just quickly answer a few questions on this one quickly. Rory, who do you think will win this fight?
Frampton.
How do you think he's going to win this fight?
I think it'll just be a wide points decision. I don't think he'll be stupid enough or daft enough to stand there and trade with Avalos. So I think he'll pop him off, keep his distance best he can, jab moves, pop away. Perhaps have a little bit of a tear up, but nothing too drastic. Just move out, circle him, keep it a relative long range, and just use his boxing skill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What do you think, Paul?
Frampton will win, and I think it will be a really competitive fight. It might not be close on the cards if it goes the full 12, like I think it will personally. I don't think we'll see a knockout. We might see a knockdown or two, but I think it will go the distance, and it will be maybe this is just me hoping it'll be this because it's going to be on ITV, but I really think we're going to get a Fight of the Year contender, possibly. I'd love that to happen on ITV. Avalos, like I said, he comes to get stuck in. Frampton will like that. He's a very good boxer when he needs to be. He's won quite a few fights where he's just reined it in and boxed off the back foot.
Yeah.
But
can I stop you there for a second, Paul? Sorry, I just want to correct something I said before. Avalos, I've just checked the stat, is actually taller than Frampton by 2 inches, and has also got a 5-inch reach advantage over Frampton. So there is something that Frampton will have to deal with, and it won't be able to just constantly run away in this fight, because if Avalos actually employs a jab in this fight, it could be troublesome for Frampton. So this is going to be a good fight, I think, because Frampton is going to have to overcome some things that maybe he's not had to overcome in quite a while. You understand what I'm saying? If you want to continue now, that's fine.
No, you said exactly what I was going to say, so there's no point now.
Sorry, mate. I just wanted to correct myself looking like a right mug before.
No, fair enough.
He's a small guy, yeah. No, he's not, mate.
No, he's Frampton's quite a small guy. He's about 5'3", 5'4", isn't he?
5'5", yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, it'll go the distance for me. Frampton will win it on points, and the scorecards might be quite wide, but I don't think that will reflect the nature of the fight. I think it'll be an exciting fight where Avalos has his moments, and he has big rounds, but Frampton will have a bit too much for him. And I predict this now. It wouldn't surprise me if later on in the year we see Chris Avalos fight Scott Quigg, because he puts in such a good effort in this fight that Eddie Hearn and of the other people who run Scott Quigg's career think, okay, to build this fight up with Frampton even more, to build this rivalry up, let's put this guy in against Scott Quigg because he did well against Frampton. Let's see how Quigg can do against him. That's something I'll predict to happen later on in the year after this fight, which Frampton will win.
That would be a huge potential banana skin, considering how their styles would match up. That would be a lot of potential in that being a hard fight for them.
Well,
I would actually. Let me just say this. I would actually bet on Avalos in that fight if that is the case. But
I know we call them mismatch room, but they are the same people who give Ian John Lewis these gigs, aren't they? Mm-hmm. So it wouldn't surprise me if they were daft enough to do it.
True that. Well, I suppose we'll definitely go and see. I think we'll just end this on this last question, guys. If Frampton gets through this fight, Rory, do you see Scott Quigg versus Frampton end of the year?
You'd hope so, wouldn't you? End of the year, yes. Summertime, probably no. It depends on Scott Quigg's injury, but not before September. But hopefully before 2016.
Okay, I'm going to let everyone into a personal, personal conversation with Scott Quigg. Okay, and one thing he did say was this year's going to be a big year for him. There's going to be some big fights. It's make or break. So,
well, they all say that though.
Yeah, he said. Well, yeah, he said it to me face. So, you have to think: is he for real or is he just bullshitting? But what do you think, Paul? Do you think it's going to be a make or break fight with Frampton, or do you think it's no?
I think he's probably been told that he's going to be having all these big fights, but again, it wouldn't surprise me if he just has the same year this year that he had last year. He basically fights a load of Africans and a load of Latin Americans who no one's ever heard of, defending his chump change belt. And I know it's easy to laugh at Quigg and give him loads of stick, like a lot of people do, but he surely can't be happy with these level of fights for too long. He seems to me like a really ambitious lad, a really dedicated lad. He wants a big fight, and with the likes of Quigg, with the likes of Santa Cruz. I'd really hope that if he doesn't get his big fight soon, I don't know when he's coming back from his injury, because he's out at the minute, but if by the end of the year he hasn't had his big fight, then I'd like to think that he will go to Eddie Hearn or whoever and say, look, get me, I don't care now, no more excuses, get me this big fight with Frampton. And hopefully that happens and we do get to see the Frampton fight before the year's out. But if you're asking me do I think it will happen, I'd say I wouldn't be surprised at all if it doesn't.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it does happen just because I've spoke to the guy personally. But if it doesn't happen, I'll probably go to bed crying, thinking he lied to my face. Ah! But that's our prediction anyway. I think that this will be a points decision for Frampton. It's going to be a good fight, actually, really good fight. A few things that he's going to have to overcome. But we'll see what happens, and we'll hit you up with a post-fight video straight after the fight's ended. So thanks, guys.